Did you realize that there are some companies that offer discounts, admission to free events, and even free cash to some of their shareholders for simply owning stock in that company? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be listing off some of the perks that you may be eligible to receive simply for the stock that you may have in your portfolio. And as a quick tease, here's a listing of some of those companies that I'll be sharing today. Now, I do want to point out that I do not recommend that a person invest in a company solely to get access to a perk. I'm merely sharing these shareholder perks so that if they are in your portfolio, then you absolutely should take advantage of some of these freebies. And I also want to point out that none of the companies with these perks are giving me any kickbacks. These were all shareholder perks that I researched on my own so I can make for this video. And I'll get started with the first company, which is Berkshire Hathaway, that I think that most all of you should be aware of since it is managed by Warren Buffett. The perk for the shareholders is an invitation to the annual meeting in May in Omaha, Nebraska. And I know at first that does not sound glamorous. However, they do get access to a ton of different discounts from many of the businesses that are under the Berkshire umbrella. In the past, this has included Brooks Shoes, Dairy Queen, Geico, Ginsu Brands, See's Candies, Pampered Chef, and a store called NFM that sells furniture and appliances, to name just a few. You get the perks whether you own the Berkshire Hathaway Class A or the Class B stock. And if you weren't aware that there are two options, I'll share some of the differences. The Class A stock goes for over $523,000 for a single share, where it's up 11.9% year to date and up 201% over 10 years. The Class B performance is roughly the same, but a single share goes for $343, and it's a much more realistic option for people to own a full share and still get those perks. And we'll move right along to the next company, which is Wolverine Shoes, where shareholders owning at least one share receive a 30% discount on their shoes and apparel. It also includes brands such as Cat, Morel, Chaco, Sperry, Saucony, Keds, and Hush Puppies. There's a few more that I hadn't heard of that are also on the list. And as I mentioned, it only requires that you have one single share to be eligible for the discount. But there is a little bit of a small catch. Wolverine had partnered with a company called Ticker that you need to sign up with and then prove that you own shares of that stock in order to have access to the perk. And the small upside is that the site lists dozens of different companies and they find the perks for you. And it also lists perks for other companies that you may be interested in. And no, they are not paying me to include them in this video. It's merely the only way to get access to that discount. And with regards to Wolverine's performance, the stock goes for a whopping $13.07, and it's up 21% year to date. However, they are down negative 60% over the past 10 years. It's a good thing that the discount only requires that you have one share. And if you're anything like me and you happen to have young children, then that one share may come in handy with getting a 30% discount across all the different brands. In fact, I bought one pair of hiking boots, and the savings alone made up for that total cost of the one share of $13. But once again, I'm not recommending that anyone invest in a company solely to get the perk. However, I am slightly guilty of doing that. I want to take a moment and point out that when I'm researching and creating content for my videos, I spend a lot of time on the computer. And even when I had a home office for my corporate job, I never really had a comfortable chair for my 6'3" frame that weighs in over 200 pounds. But thanks to today's sponsor, 𝐬𝐴N Racing, I can't help but point out that they make a heavy-duty chair that holds up to 550 pounds, and it has a flat, wide seat that doesn't have those typical hip huggers. I literally feel like a small person when I sit in this chair simply because it is so roomy. Before 𝐬𝐴N Racing approached me, I noticed that a good friend of mine had one of these chairs for his home office, and I joked around like, why would you have a gaming chair? But then he pointed out how adjustable this chair is, and how the cushions are firm and it doesn't lose its form over time, and the fact that it has this incredible lumbar support. It can literally be adjusted up or down for my preference. And don't forget that it has this magnetic cushion that you can adjust for your head and neck. Who thought of this? It is so cool. Plus, with me being tall, this chair supports my back all the way up to my head. After using this chair for a few weeks, I can't imagine not having it. It happens to be the best office chair that I've ever had. And if you happen to be a gamer, then I'm pretty sure you're going to love this chair too. If you're interested, they are offering a 20% discount code of BWB20, where you can save a few bucks on a great chair. I have a link to 𝐬𝐴N Racing in the description below, so feel free to check them out if you want to get yourself a great chair. The next company that offers a perk to its shareholders is Whirlpool, where they provide a 30% discount across their product line. And similar to Wolverine, they only require that you have the one share in order to get the discount. It can begin to add up quickly if you're looking to buy a new appliance, where it does cover brands like KitchenAid, Amana, Maytag, and Hotpoint. But the downside, once again, is that the only place that I could see in getting this discount is from that ticker website, where you do have to prove that you own the stock in order to get the perk. For this video, I did go ahead and I signed up with them to have an account so that I could see that it worked smoothly. And it did. It showed that I had owned those stock in order to get the discounts. But I'm not sure how I feel about them having access to what my entire portfolio is. However, I do want to point out that Whirlpool does offer a 15% discount to anyone that's a teacher, a veteran, or a first responder, or happens to work in healthcare. You can simply sign up on their webpage if you meet any of those criteria. But since we were in need of a new fridge in our basement because ours recently broke down, it did work well in our favor to get the full 30% off as a stock perk, especially since the most basic of fridges cost about $1,000 today. But with 30% off, I am happy to save that extra $300, especially since the stock cost $155.11 and it's up 12.5% year to date and up only 15.8% over the past 10 years. With that type of performance, I wouldn't want to own anything more than just one share, but hey, that's just my opinion. Before moving on, I have a favor to ask of you. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button so my channel could continue to grow. And better yet, I hope that you consider subscribing so you can be up to date with all of my latest content. And now we will move on to the next company offering a perk, and that happens to be iRobot, where they provide a discount in a few different flavors. If you happen to have one share that you've had for at least 12 weeks, then they'll give you $50 off a select list of robots. And if you own at least 500 shares, then they're going to give you $90 off a select list of robots. This is yet another perk that is only offered via the ticker website, which I'm not a fan of being forced to use a specific site. If I own the stock, I want the perk. But hey, that's just my opinion once again. But I will say that for me personally, our house has a lot of wood floors, and when you combine that with our shedding golden retriever, having a robot vacuum is pretty darn handy. Now, we don't have a nice fancy iRobot that doesn't know not to fall down the stairs or get caught in shaggy rugs, but hey, it gets the job done and it's simple. As for iRobot, their stock is trading at $49.25 and it's up 4.7% year to date, and it's up over 44% over the past 10 years. It's definitely not the hottest stock on the market, but once again, it's not the worst either. The next company perk is from Willamette Valley Vineyards that offers a few different perks to its shareholders. Now, if you look this company up, it is true that they are traded on NASDAQ, but they do offer preferred stock that is purchased directly from their website. I have never personally invested into a company's preferred stock on their website, but if you have, let us know in the comments. How did it go? Are you happy with the results or not? Getting back to Willamette Vineyards, the preferred stock is being offered at $4.85 a share, with a minimum purchase of 300 shares, or $1,455. The preferred stock is being offered at a discount compared to what is trading on the NASDAQ at $5.79. The preferred stock also comes with a 4.53% dividend. Aside from the discounted stock and dividend, the preferred option provides a 25% discount on their wine and merchandise, along with complimentary wine tastings each month. The preferred stockholders are also invited to the owner-exclusive events and are given discounted or complimentary admission to special events and VIP wine tours. The 25% discount is great regardless of where you live. But to take advantage of all the in-person events, then hey, you're going to need to be near Walla Walla, Washington, Vancouver, Washington, Turner, Oregon. Well, they have several locations in Oregon, but also in Folsom, California. Those are all areas that I love to visit when it works in my schedule, but the reality is I wouldn't be enjoying this perk when I don't live nearby. The next company is Royal Caribbean, where they provide a set of onboard credits based on your length of a trip. For example, if you're on a 6-night or less cruise, you receive a $50 credit on the trip, and for 7 to 13 nights, it's $100. And for 15 nights or more, it's a $250 credit to use on the ship. This is one of those perks that I have personally used, and we're looking forward to hopefully using it twice next year if everything goes well. Because for the price, you really can't beat the cost of a family of 4 to go on a 7-day vacation for what you pay on a cruise. A week at Disney would cost about 3 to 4 times more than it would cost to go on a cruise that includes all of your food. Trust me, I know firsthand. And since we go on cruises often enough, my wife and I have status where we get 4 free alcoholic drinks a day. Well, it doesn't need to be alcoholic, but let's be honest, we want to get our money's worth. So yeah, we go for the alcohol. And no, 4 drinks is probably not enough. But Royal Caribbean isn't the only one with this offer. Both Norwegian and Carnival have something extremely similar. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that on the screen so you can see the comparison. And from here, Royal Caribbean is slightly more generous in the middle tier of $100 since it starts at 6 nights. And Norwegian is slightly more stingy with the $250 credit starting with a 15-night trip. On the chart on the screen, you can see that the stock price for Royal Caribbean is much, much higher, which makes the return of $100 from a 7-night cruise a 1% return on your near $10,000 invested in the stock. Each of these companies has done well year to date, but Royal Caribbean has done probably the best over 10 years with a 110% return. It's no surprise that all of these companies took a major beating during the COVID years, and if you were lucky enough to buy in the dip, well, it's paying off very well right about now. I think that we can all agree that when it comes to your investments, it's not about getting the perk, it's all about the best return. And if you're looking for the best returns on some of the newer, hottest stock, then I covered in this video right here. Some of these have treated me extremely well this year.